Hey, welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield. Now I'm joined by Harry, Lou, Boff, and Dambert from Chumbawamba. It's good to have you here on the show.
Right.
Been a very big fan of the record, and I can definitely say it's one of the singles of the year, and there's a lot of great tracks on the album as well.
You say that to everyone.
I do. You know that? I
Yeah.
do. But you know why I do say it to everyone? Because most of the time if I have them on, I do really like them.
Right, okay.
You know? I mean, obviously, this one's a lot of... That's right. There you go. Right? Works all right. But anyway, all right, tell me a bit about the fact that you've been together for about 15 years now. And
At least.
And you put out 8 albums. That's just as Chumbawamba, right?
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, weren't you some of you guys in the band Crass as well?
No.
No?
We were in Chimpete's Banana.
You weren't in Crass. So Big A, Little A, none of those?
No Crass.
Okay.
No.
Because you've heard that's been brought up.
Too much into good fun, I think, for that.
Yeah. But, so tell me a bit about the fact that you've been together that long. And earlier on, which of your early albums were distributed actually in this country? Because I know this is the first one that's really distributed, but Rough Trade or Dutch East India, one of those got some of the early records out. Which ones was it? Was it Pictures of Starving Children?
I think
so record?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just one. It was a sort of anti-censorship record that we did
But
a
that
few
was
years
92.
ago.
Yeah.
If you want to know anything about facts and figures, ask Dambert.
Okay. So you actually, and you did a tour for it back then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did about 11,000 miles in 6.5 weeks.
Yeah. And how was that for an experience? Because it's obviously a lot bigger.
Tiring. Yeah.
It was good, yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of money.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was worth it coming back this time, though, right? Things are starting to work out really well.
Yeah, it's great.
This being a big hit. And right now, though, we're going to come back with the band in a minute. Let's check out the latest from Moby. This is from the album I Like to Score. This is the James Bond theme from Mr. Moby himself on 120 Minutes tonight. Matt Pinfield here hanging out with Harry, Lou, Boff, and Dambert of Chumbawamba. Now, the song Tub Thumping, which is taken basically from the album title, too, Tub Thumper. Obviously, people think it's kind of a drinking anthem, but it almost sounds like it's kind of taking the piss out of or making fun of the whole, you know, drinking experience and the attitudes in English pub life. But it's meant for a deeper meaning than that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a rallying cry for disenfranchised people, really. You know, you can get up in a pub and shout what you feel about the world and feel happy about it, even though you've been in your crap job all week.
Yeah, and that's the one place where everybody has like an equal forum. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like for people that don't have access to, you know, to the media or to politics or to like that kind of thing. There's always that thing where you can have a few drinks and get up and tell your friends what you think. Stand on a chair.
Let off steam.
Yeah.
And that's
Fall
where.
off the chair.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But get back up.
Yeah, so a tub thumper is somebody who's basically an orator, like someone who can, you know, kind of a soapbox preacher.
Yeah.
Stands up in that way.
It's like I mean, it's a big tradition, really. It's just that we sort of thought, yeah, that's the sort of thing we do, just like stand up and yell at people. But okay, we've got samplers and loudspeakers now. But
yeah.
Essentially, that's what we do.
Anyway, and you've had a lot of political records over the years. I mean, are spoken about a lot of political issues. You're referring to Live Aid or some of those concerts with that pictures of starving children sell records, and you know, there's a lot of anarchy themes as well that have been on a lot of the records. We've got lots more to talk about with Chumbawamba, and a little later we'll take a look back at Robin Hitchcock. But right now, let's take a look at the top 10 singles in alternative music this week around the USA. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield. Now I'm here with Alice, Paul, Dunstan, and Jude from Chumbawamba, the other half of the band. It's good to have you by. We were talking off camera about some of our old favorite English stuff. It's even some of the more off-color punk things from the side, like Magazine and ATV and Pop Group and All Pairs, you know, and Slits and everybody, all that great stuff. And because there was a misconception, of course, that you guys were part of the band Crass, and I brought up Big A, Little A, and you know, so I kind of which I thought were a great band too, but I just, you know,
we sort of worked alongside them. You know, we were doing stuff whilst they were doing stuff, but we never sort of did things together. But we were aware of the fact that we were part of the same movement at the time.
Yeah, they were a real sort of peace punk movement, they called it at that point, which is where people thought that by belonging to this clan you could change the world, which were great in terms of optimism and in terms of mobilising people. But it had to move out of just being a lifestyle thing. I mean, it were a good moment in time.
They were a big influence on us, definitely, at the time. Yeah.
Without a question. Big influence on American bands too, like RKO and Bad Religion, tons of bands. I mean, obviously, they've affected a lot. Now, speaking of anarchist songs and just doing different directions, you did English Rebel Songs, which wasn't it like an a cappella album?
Yeah, totally. It was just like, it was at the time we were really into sort of Irish rebel music at the time, and so we thought it'd be a good idea to discover rebel music from England from the past. So we went right back to 1381, I think is the earliest song. It comes all the way up to 1914.
There was a snobbishness as well, which where people thought that, you know, pop and politics started with punk rock, and we wanted to go, no, look, there's a real tradition of this. You know, like, things didn't explode with punk rock, just with punk rock. People have always, you know, used song as a way of getting the feelings out and of being anti-establishment.
Right, and as a voice, that's really amazing. I'd love, you know, I got to get a copy of that album because I've only heard about it, but I'd love to hear some of those early songs as well. Right now, we're going to take a look at your latest video from Tub Thumper, though. It's one that everybody knows, and it debuted here on 120 Minutes. It's called Tub Thumping. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. Matt Pinfield here, talking with Alice, Paul, Dunstan, and Jude, half of Chumbawamba, were here with me. Now, the new record, Neil Ferguson is the guy who had produced the record. Tell me a bit about Neil, because he also played some keys on it and stuff.
It's weird, actually.
He's the ninth
It's in
Chumba.
America with us, yeah. He's worked with us right from the very first record. And we went to use his studio in Castleford, just outside Leeds. And it turned out we'd really struck lucky with somebody with great ears, who were a brilliant person. And we worked with him on every single thing we've done since then. And he has a massive input in Chumbawamba.
He plays more instruments than we do on the album, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
But he's the sort of producer that that works alongside people rather than being pushy. And a lot of producers, I think, are a bit balmy. You know, there's this like music industry idea that if you're creative, you don't have to talk in full sentences. You know, you don't have to behave like a normal human being, whereas Neil's completely level and a really nice bloke.
He just sprinkles the fairy dust on top.
Yeah, that's
Very
great.
sort of unobtrusive, you know, he just
And
doesn't stick his oar in and...
Well, a little tribute to
Yeah,
Neil.
well,
But he's also been a friend for a long time.
Yeah, all the way through. And if
Yeah.
anybody wants to see Neil Ferguson, he'll be on the sound desk because he's doing the front of house sound for us on these gigs.
Oh, that's great. So he'll be there. He's all the way around with you.
But that's how we've always worked, you know, we've always been like, wanting to get people involved from the beginning and try and keep, you know, using the same people all the time.
A real loyalty and a friendship thing built relationships.
Yeah. And like with Neil at one point, the people that we worked with went bust the distribution service, and he let us use the studio, you know, without paying him, and we could just pay him back when we got some money. So the loyalty works both ways, you know. It's not just us saying to Neil, oh, you know, well, there's always a job for you. He's been really good to us.
That's great. That's the way it should be. I always admire that when I see that happen with bands. It's a really cool thing, and it's done well because the record's doing great here.
Yeah.
You should check out the album. Are you excited about it? Was it a big surprise to you?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, it wasn't. We sort of knew, just before it came out, well, in the UK, we knew that it was going to do well. So it sort of wasn't a surprise, but it was, if that makes sense. We sort of knew, but we didn't know, sort of thing.
We're surprised, but we're not overawed. You know, people expect us to suddenly go, oh, success at last. When we think, well, we've always been a success because we've liked what we've done, and we've always done challenging, interesting things. So, you know, our concept of success is like a fulfilling job and something that gives you creative satisfaction, and we've always had that.
At the same time, it's sticking two things up to a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I sort of get off on as well.
Yeah, right, the old up yours.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, make sure to pick up Chumbawamba's new album, Tub Thumper, as well as some of the earlier stuff, like Pictures of Starving Children Sell Records, Shh, Anarchy, and English Rebel songs. Right now, we have the latest from Everclear from their new album. It's called So Much for the Afterglow. It's called Everything to Everyone on 120 Minutes. Thank you so much for coming by. Enjoyed having you.
Thanks a lot.
It was cool.